Hi guys, welcome back to part 2. Now, if you did not watch part 1 of this segment, I beg of you, please go back and watch part 1 because this is a continuation from that and you kind of need to understand so that you can also understand this episode. Now, on part 2, we're talking about nutrition. Most people have the misconception that pigs will eat anything, and this is where Christopher will prove us wrong, right? Yeah. So do pigs eat everything? Do they eat anything? There are people who even feed their pigs garbage.
Yeah, but there is a common saying. I don't know whether it is an English saying.
Yes.
Garbage in,
garbage out.
Garbage
it's
out.
Actually a computer thing.
It's a computer thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you choose to give your pigs garbage, definitely you're likely to have garbage out. You need to really plan the nutrition of your pigs carefully. And this is in line with the objectives that you have, as a businessman. Mm-hmm. Because pig farming is not just a hobby. It's a business. And somebody set up a farm with particular objectives that they want to achieve. For example, if you were planning to go to the market in 24, 26 weeks and you feed garbage, you cannot achieve it because pigs need proper nutrition to grow well. And so for you to really go to the market in planned time, you need to feed these pigs rightly and you need to manage them rightly. So we need collect nutrition for our pigs. Pigs feed differently. Like I said in the last episode, that the different categories of pigs requires different types of feeds.
Okay.
Because their nutrient requirement, when we eat food, what we get from the food is the nutrients. So our bodies understands the nutrients. So the nutrients needs of pigs at different stages are very different. So at the reproductive herd, you need different feeds. You need feeds for the dry sow. You need feeds for the gestating sows. You need feeds for the lactating sow. And you need a special diet for gilt rearing. It's common here that people inseminate underweight gilts. That is very wrong. I don't want to refer it to. If it was in human beings, maybe we would call it defilement. So we need
defilement for pigs.
We need to really inseminate pigs at correct weights. Like the minimum insemination weight should always be 130 kilograms. This is something you can't achieve if you didn't give correct gilt rearing diets.
Yeah.
So if you gave garbage, it's very difficult for you to achieve 130 kilograms. And this must be at between 30 to 32 weeks. So all those are targets.
Okay.
Targets that you can't achieve if you're not giving correct nutrition.
Yes.
And for lactating sows, a pig comes back on heat 3 to 5 days after weaning. So after it, remove its babies, let me call them babies, the piglets, from, suckling.
Yeah.
Then 3 to 5 days, it will go back on heat and it will be ready for insemination. That's something that you cannot achieve if your pigs were not fed well during lactation. So lactation is highly demanding. These pigs need a lot of nutrients to make milk that will feed the piglets and to make, to support their own bodies because they are also still living organisms.
True.
They need nutrients to keep their body shape, to keep strong, to manage, getting the energy, to move around and to lie down and feed its young ones.
Yeah.
So you need different nutrients, different levels of nutrients for a lactating sow. And feeding it right means that it will come back on heat early enough. And that means that you're saving time. Saving time means that you're getting more pallets, more liters in a year than you would have got.
Yeah.
So collective feeding is really very important. For the gestating sows that are pregnant, you need to be careful because excessive nutrient intake, most especially at earlier stages of gestation, might lead to reabsorption of the fertilized eggs. So you got to cut nutrient intake during early gestation, then keep increasing the nutrient intake as the pregnancy grows.
Yeah.
Then you keep increasing until late gestation, then until following, and then you really completely increase the amount of food. So in the reproductive herd, we only feed for performance, except during lactation, but we only feed for performance.
Okay.
We don't need these sows to be too big,
and
we don't need them to be too small.
Yeah.
So we need to keep them in the right shape.
Okay.
That's the objective in the commercial feeding.
Yeah.
Sorry, in the reproductive feeding.
Okay.
Then in the commercial herd,
you need to.
we feed for growth.
Yeah. Size matters.
Size matters.
Yeah.
Right? And we need to go to the market as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So if we don't have right nutrition still, we can't achieve that.
True.
We need quality pork. We need a carcass that, weighs, a lot of kilograms.
Yeah.
Like if you don't give correct nutrition, most especially in the earlier stages of growth, the starter and the grower, you will not achieve a quality carcass at the end of the day, and you will not achieve good growth at the end of the day. So correct nutrition is very important.
Okay.
Start your piglets with a creep feed, then go to starter diets, then to grower diets, and finally to finisher diets. They should be correct diets.
Okay. And everything you just mentioned, those are feeding strategies, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
The most important issue that people must get to understand is that there is no single feedstuff that can supply all nutrients that a pig needs. Like us in human beings, same story. You can't feed on sweet potatoes and think that's the correct diet that you should take in. You will miss out on the other nutrients. Yet your body needs those nutrients to work properly.
Yeah.
So in pigs, there is no, in livestock in general, in animals in general, there is no single feedstuff that can supply all nutrients that an animal needs. So you have to combine a variety of feedstuffs to come up with a balanced diet. Pigs must feed on a balanced diet.
Yeah.
So you may choose to use concentrates, for example, because if you have, let's say, your soy, your sunflower, you have your maize, your maize bran, then what you need to do is to look for a concentrate. No. You need to analyze the nutrient content of these individual feedstuffs, the maize, the sunflower, the soy, and establish which level, which percentage of nutrients does each of these feedstuff contain. Then after ascertaining that, you need to look at the chart for pig nutrition and get to understand which levels of nutrients in terms of proteins, in terms of carbohydrates, in terms of vitamins, in terms of minerals, do pigs at different stages require. Definitely, you'll find some gaps. You'll find some gaps in soy, you'll find some gaps in maize, you'll find some gaps in sunflower. And then that's where the concentrates comes in. So you got to use concentrates to cover up those gaps. Okay? So these concentrates help you cover up those gaps and come up with an ideal diet, a complete diet for those particular stages of pigs. Another option is to use premixes. Premixes, some people may choose to call them concentrates, but these are mixed specifically for people who have access to their own feedstuffs. For For example, if I have my own protein feedstuffs, I have my own carbohydrate feedstuffs, then all I need is to cover up those small gaps in those feedstuffs. And a premix can do that. But there are some farmers with limited access to, say, protein feedstuffs. And all they need is a concentrate that provides all the protein that is required. So they only need to provide the carbohydrate side, mix it with the concentrate, and they have a complete diet.
Okay.
Mixing feeds on your farm is the cheapest option you can ever think about. So whenever you think about pig nutrition, think about different strategies that can help you make feeds on your farm, and should be a quality feed, because it's not only eating, but the feed must supply the necessary nutrients. And the other option, of course, is the rudimentary one, but we can leave that to traditional farmers, because there are people who have no production goals. They can sell whenever they want to sell, and they don't mind.
Yeah.
Because they don't put in a lot of money. They are keeping 1-2 pigs.
Yeah.
So they don't care that much. I don't need to waste a lot of time on those. And I think that's what people must understand.
Now, as Kanganda, we have visited so many pig farms. And if you're viewing this and you've not checked out our farming content, please go and check that out. And we've seen some farmers who bring in feeds from outside, from professionals who maybe make the feeds for the pigs. And then there are also some farmers who grow their own crops so they can feed to the pigs. What can you say about that?
Yeah, in fact, that was a great observation.
Yeah.
The comparison of those two also is very important. When we look at profitability, if you grow if you grow the feeds for your pigs, you definitely win. You will always win. The winner is somebody who grows his own food.
Yeah.
You really win. If you visited farms in South Africa, for me, I've done some in Zambia.
Okay. All over Africa.
And most of these big farms grow their own feeds. When you grow your own feeds, you cut the production cost to sometimes below 50%.
Really?
So that's all your profit at the end of the day. So most of these farms that make huge profits from pigs, grow their own feed. They are in control of the feed cost. Okay, like I said, you can't have it all. Like the feedstuffs can't be complete in all nutrients.
Yeah.
So all they do is to spend a little money on buying concentrates or buying premixes. Then they can make the feeds on their farms.
Okay.
So it is very important to think about growing your feeds.
Yeah.
If you have land,
you should do it.
You have the technical know-how, because do not follow the traditional farming system.
Yes.
I've seen farmers, explaining how they can get very few tons of maize from an acre.
Yeah.
And there are many farmers who are also very successful with many tons of maize from an acre. So you look for the necessary information. These things sometimes we fail because we don't have the right information to work with.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here talking to you.
Yeah,
so bringing you the information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to really look for the right information if you're intending to produce feeds for your pigs on farm.
Okay.
It is the cheapest option of feeding pigs. So on the other side of the commercial feeds that you pick from a feed manufacturer, I don't want to sound bad. Some of these people are very good friends of mine. But it is the truth. I guess they also admit that it is actually very expensive to produce a pig on commercial feeds. It is very expensive. And if you're not careful enough, you can end up losing the profit. So you have to be very careful. And if you chose to use commercial feeds, please sit with your supplier and get to understand whether you will be making profit or not. Otherwise, you might end up working for no pay.
Okay. Now you said those who grow their own food cut costs, but are they missing out some nutrients?
Yeah.
Are there some things they're missing? And how can one plan a balanced diet for the pigs?
Yeah, exactly. Like we said, there is no single feed stuff that can supply all nutrients required by a pig. And sometimes, even though you combine them together, there are some gaps that you need to cover up.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to look for concentrates. That's why you have to look for premixes to make sure that you cover up those gaps. Always make sure that your pigs feed on a balanced diet. If you're really going to exploit the potential of that quality genetics and the investment in management that you're putting in.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Now, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and follow us on all our social media pages. There is a part 3 that is dropping and you should watch that. See you next time.